And she looks up at me wearing the big brown apron with, with my name on it. And she goes, "Oh, you're Byron. I just was praying in the car and wrote a story about you."
Wait a minute. You was living so foul that the church people knew about you? Like they were talking about you at the church meetings? Is that how bad it was? I'm gonna start looking for Byron Donalds and Trick Daddy and Trina videos. If it was like that, hell, I'm a check Luke. Hey, shout out to all of the subscribers and members here on the channel. Don't forget to give the video a like. My name is Reese Waters, and I'm trouble. Byron Donalds. What's this I hear about you campaigning on the back of a truck?
The continued home of the MAGA movement.
Yeah.
And we are going to show the other 49 states how to get the job done.
Yeah.
Look, I'll tell you, I travel all over the country.
In the back of a flatbed? Huh? Is that how you travel? They couldn't get you no podium or nothing, and that looked like a used truck. They couldn't even get you nothing new. They couldn't get you nothing that sat up off to the ground. They couldn't put no 22s or no 24s on that truck. That truck looked like, I don't even think the owner knows you standing on the back of it. I think he inside getting his hair cut right now. He gonna come outside like, what happened? Bruh, is this the way that the campaign is being run right now? And by the way, don't think that I don't see that crowd. That crowd look as sad as when you tried to crash Bloody Sunday.
I did so much campaigning for President Trump to make sure he beat Kamala Harris, to make sure that he was the 47th president of the United States. And we are now 10 days in?
And you are campaigning for governor standing in the back of a 2020 Ford Ranger. Yeah, that's what's going on. VP, check. Cabinet, check. Senator, check. Governor, you know what? Let's make him earn it. You know what I mean? We got any of them pandemic trucks laying around? Yeah, all the ones that was unsold during the pandemic. Hey, go get that Ranger. Yeah, go get that Ranger. And the sad part about it is, this is actually an improvement over the last time that we saw you, Byron.
Are you ready? You ready for the other half of it? The previous president, President Biden. So you do not want to hear the full story. You don't want to hear the full story. I don't agree. What the Doge is doing is they are examining the records. They are providing their findings. Congress has to weigh in on those.
They're firing people.
This works. If you're just upset because Donald Trump has Elon Musk doing it, then that doesn't make any sense. We have to make sense. We have to agree on certain things.
Now it makes sense. See, he retreated back to his safe space. He retreated back to his comfort space, which is strip mall parking lots. We understand this is his place. These are his people. Look around that crowd. These are his people. And especially, it was a strip mall parking lot where he got saved, isn't it? Quote, he told a crowd at a Faith and Freedom Coalition event that while he was waiting tables at a Cracker Barrel in Tallahassee, a woman he didn't know approached him and told him the Lord was calling him. He said he later served a table of 12 Christian women who were coming from a revival. And as they're getting on their little bus, the Lord told me, you need to go see these ladies. I go over to the bus and I catch the last lady. She says, young man, are you okay? And I said, ma'am, the Lord told me to stop running. Do you have a truck that I could stand on top of? Okay, no, he didn't say that part. She goes, oh, child, come on, sisters. Come on, sisters. Oh, child. Oh, you sure you didn't put no spice on that thing? Huh? Old child. Is that really what she said? Did she make you a plate of biscuits to go, to take with you? We're going to pray over this young man right now. And I gave my life to Christ on that day. Well, you know what? You don't actually have to take my word for it. You can hear him tell the story himself.
You've got this great faith story. What is it? This Cracker Barrel in Tennessee, Tallahassee? Yeah. What in the world? Yeah. You got to tell this story.
So, after I got arrested the second time.
The second time? Bro, what was you involved in? I'm just playing. We all know what you was involved in.
People will do anything to maintain power and authority. I think it's wrong.
Byron Donalds won't say who those people are, but blames them for revealing his criminal past. It's been posted on the internet after it was ordered sealed by the courts. A 1997 misdemeanor arrest for distribution of marijuana, and in 2000, a second-degree felony for receiving a bribe.
I started going to church. My girlfriend at the time, who ended up becoming my girlfriend again, who I ended up marrying, she was starting to go to church. Mm-hmm. And, I would talk to her, and she said, you should just come with me, so I would.
Wait a minute. Now, is this the same girlfriend who became your ex-wife, who you still owe for the quickie divorce after you met your current wife? This the same one that said you used to pretend to be Jamaican? Is this that one?
Well, I'd be from Jamaica, man. Not a mercy. What part of Jamaica? Right near the beach.
You got some balls bringing her up. You know what I mean? Cause now she gonna be notified. Now she knows where you at. You know what I mean? I would leave there through the back door.
And it's crazy, especially the first time you start going into church. You feel like the pastor knows your story. Like he's talking directly to you.
Yes,
and I'm thinking like, who called the past? Who called my mom? like who called my mom? Who called my friends and started relaying the story? And I think that's really where I started meeting the Holy Spirit, really seeing God and who he is, and really not just the blessings he has for you, but really the guidance he has for you.
Now, that is a story that we've heard a lot. We've heard a lot of people give their lives over to Christ by going to church, external person, friend, whatever, bringing them to church and their hearts being softened as they sit there. So I don't begrudge him that part of it. But I do want you to keep in mind all of this that he's saying about him giving his life to Christ when he lands this. Let's just see where this goes.
And so I was working at Cracker Barrel at the time, and it was the summer of 2001. Mm-hmm. And there was a couple of, seemed like once a month, there was a lady who would come in. One lady had written a story on the road, and she looks up at me wearing the big brown apron with my name on it. And she goes, "Oh, you're Byron. I just was praying in the car and wrote a story about you."
Wait a minute. You was living so foul that the church people knew about you? Like they were talking about you at the church meetings? Is that how bad it was? They were getting together at revival like, one day Byron gonna turn this life. I mean, how bad was you living, Byron? I heard back in the day that all the churches in Florida just had a seat in the back that just said Byron. Like, he can't keep living that foul. I'm gonna start looking for Byron Donalds and Trick Daddy and Trina videos. If it was like that, hell, I'm a check Luke.
I remember, she just said, God's just saying he's praying for you. God's saying, he's with you. Don't leave him. Keep praying. Stay in it. When I gave my life to Christ, it was September 2nd, 2001. I was waiting on this table. It was like a revival. These whole tables, like 13 of them. And, when you're in Cracker Barrel, the last thing you want is a big table. Like, you want like 4 and 5. You don't want 13 because it takes up your whole section.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense. If you look at the crowds when he appears, when he speaks, like if you look at the crowds in that strip mall right there, you could tell he didn't want no big tables. You know what I mean? It was a couple of busloads of people said they wanted to come watch Byron. He's like, I'm not taking no big tables. 4 and 5 at a time. And make sure y'all all spread out. Make sure everybody got room to dance.
But I'm there and I'm waiting on this whole table and you know, the Lord was really dealing with me at that time.
And by the way, that's exactly how the crowd was looking at that town hall as well. You know what I mean, Byron? And that was before they walked out.
And I waited on them and did all the stuff. And, you know, I go back, I cash them out. I go back to the server line. I'm rolling silverware and I'm gone. Like I'm on the server line. I'm rolling silverware, but I'm not there. And, you know, people kept coming up to me. They're like, Byron, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just thinking.
You know what? I think I had Byron as a waiter before. I'll be honest, because we often go to Cracker Barrels when we travel, and they just be disappearing. You know what I mean? I'll be like, you know what I mean? I asked for a straw. It's been 15 minutes. Well, what's going on? Now we know. They being saved.
And so, you know, the Lord spoke to me. It was like, stop running from me. And so, like, it knocked me back. So I went out to find the table, and they were all gone. And I could see through the windows that they were getting on their bus. So I walked out. My manager's like, where are you going? So I need a second.
Now, I do want to give a shout out to Byron Donalds' manager, because can you imagine that you have hired the guy who just been arrested for the second time, who living so foul that the church the church folks whispering about him. They got a seat for him in the back of all the churches in Florida. You hired that man, and he runs out in the middle of his shift and tells you he needs a second. You know that manager sent somebody else out to watch. You know he did. You know, hey. I think Byron about to do a hand-to-hand. Why don't you just watch from the lobby.
Young man, you okay? And I go, no, ma'am, I'm not okay. And she goes, what? And I go, Lord telling me to stop running. Yeah. I still get emotional about it. And so there was a little tree that was right there next to where their van was pulled up. And they all came pouring out the bus. I mean, they just came from a revival. So they're like, oh, praise the Lord. We know we got another one. So they pour out the bus and they all pray over me. And I gave my life to Christ in the parking lot at Cracker Barrel.
You got saved at Cracker Barrel?
Sure did.
Now, let me say this. I had jokes, and I pretty much always have jokes when it comes to Byron Donalds. Byron
Donalds, Florida. Wow, that's nice to have you here. That's good. That one is smart. You have smart ones and you have some that aren't quite so good.
Donalds. McCarthy.
That one is smart. You have smart ones and you have some that aren't quite so good.
You know what look at my African American over here. Look at him. I
had jokes about it, but let me tell you this. As somebody that has had a story where I was backsliding, I hadn't hit Byron numbers yet, but I was backsliding. I turned my life around. That is a very real event in a person's life. And I would hope that having gone through all of that, he would leave in a better place and make better decisions. However, the reason why I can have jokes about Byron Donalds turning his life around in the parking lot of a Cracker Barrel is because of where he took it.
I think what the issue for Democrats is their political views just differ, in my view, very greatly from what the Bible says.
Huh? Oh, you got him? Cool.
I think what the issue for Democrats is their political views just differ, in my view, very greatly from what the Bible says.
Which is crazy, because you're the party of being anti-woke while never being able to define what it even is. Woke is a term that originated in African-American English as a term to describe being aware, awake enough to identify racial, social, and economic injustice and inequality in society. Now imagine this, a man who was deeply aware and actively opposed systems of racial, social, and economic injustice. A man who constantly stood by, for, and with the most marginalized groups. He ate with sinners, uplifted women in a patriarchal society, and censored the poor and oppressed in his teachings. He called out hypocrisy and advocated for justice, mercy, and compassion. A poor carpenter who directly challenged economic exploitation. A man whose message and actions literally embodied the essence of being awake, not just spiritually. That man was Jesus Christ. And today, if he were alive, your party would be the ones to nail his ass to the cross while burning him at the stake, calling him a radical, communist, Marxist. Now tell me again whose party aligns with the Bible.
Hey, Byron, they finna drag you. They finna drag you. You never should have took it there. You never should have took it. Up. Here come Keith Boykin. I warned you. Who is Byron Donalds? He once pretended to be Jamaican, had a fake Jamaican accent, got into a fake marriage with a black woman, cheated on his black wife with a white woman, got the white woman pregnant, divorced his black wife, had a shotgun wedding with the white woman, sold drugs to make money, got arrested twice, and considers it a youthful mistake. But now supports a party that has no compassion for other black men who make youthful mistakes. Became a Republican only after he married the white woman with money and still owes his black ex-wife money for the divorce, but he's the defender of the black family. That's right. That has all of the irony of Byron Donalds getting a doctorate of ethical leadership when he failed to disclose more than 100 stock trades, which also is a thing that happened. Congratulations, St. Thomas University.
Today, Congressman Donalds will be receiving a Doctorate of Ethical Leadership, honoris causa. He will be hooded by Provost Johnson Garcia and President Armstrong. Honorary degrees have been a tradition in American higher education for more than 300 years. They are conferred honoris causa, which means for the sake of honor. Honorary doctorate degrees are a distinction of high order, and St. Thomas University The university chooses its recipients who have achieved eminence in their own profession or who have rendered distinguished service to society. We are very proud at this year's undergraduate commencement ceremony, St. Thomas will honor Congressman Byron Donalds.
You know, what really made me mad, because I checked all my honorary degrees. You know what I mean? And I run up, I got my DeVry, I got my Strayer, and my University of Phoenix online. St. Thomas University, what y'all waiting on? Huh? What y'all waiting on? Because I had never had a special seat in the back of the church, and yet you gave Byron a doctorate of ethical leadership. This is a man who was out here trying to defend Pete Hegseth.
It's been a month of total chaos at the Pentagon, from leaks of sensitive operational plans to mass firings. The dysfunction is now a major distraction for the president, who deserves better from his senior leadership. Does this not bother you at all?
Look, first of all, let's lay out a couple things. Pete Hegseth has been on the job, 6 weeks now, just about. They're going through the Department of Defense, obviously trying to find inefficiencies, making sure there are not legacy staffers and political appointees at DOD who, to be frank with you, are opposed to the agenda of President Trump. This happens all the time when you have transitions in government. You have holdovers from previous administrations who do not share the vision that the president has. And so Pete Hegseth is trying to reorganize DOD and get it up to snuff.
See, you have to give Pete Hegseth time of clearing out anybody that would have any level of standards. You know what I mean? That's what I did with my organization. You know what I mean? That's what I did with my office. I made sure that I could sell stocks. You know, I made sure I could do whatever I want to do. And everybody shared my vision. No snitching. No snitching. Quote, I have the support of President Donald Trump. I have the support of Senator Rick Scott. I have the support of most of the Republican congressional delegation, and we're picking up steam every single day. I've been crisscrossing the state nonstop for the last 6 weeks, standing in the back of this flatbed truck. Oh, no. Oh, no. He didn't say that last part. Except when I'm here doing my job here in Washington. Then we scroll down. The JMI survey results show 1 point separating Byron Donalds from Casey Desantis. Meanwhile, she has been in the news for unwelcome reasons related to $10 million from a Medicaid settlement that went into the Hope Florida Foundation, the charitable arm of the Hope Florida initiative that DeSantis has spearheaded in recent years. Governor Ron DeSantis has said attempts to link the First Lady to money, which he calls a cherry on top for a larger settlement with the state that was moved to political committees in 2024 that had nothing to do with the state's Medicaid program, are a way to smear her. Is that what Ron said, huh?
Down there, hey man, we got a good. That's a fraud. You should be ashamed of yourself for peddling those bogus narratives. So we were able to get.
So if you're scoring at home, Byron Donalds, by his own admission, is a current congressman in the state, has the support of President Trump and Senator Rick Scott and the rest of the Republican congressional delegation. Meanwhile, Casey Desantis is dealing with what Ron calls a smear campaign of political donations. And 1 point is separating the two. 1 point is separating the two. It's not looking good, Byron. It's not looking good. This is looking about as grim as that rally you held from the window inside the diner where the guy that owned that flatbed truck was watching. That's how grim this looks. This looks even worse than that political ad you put out with Marvin Gaye.
Just like music.
Ain't no mountain high enough to green like that. Who said, let's get this on? That's what I need to know. Mercy, mercy me. Like, what's going on? What's going on? We just let anybody use the Marvin Gaye footage? What you talking about how sweet it is? It ain't sweet. You ain't got to give it up. This ain't nothing like the real thing. Can I get a witness? Now I got the inner city blues. When did you stop loving me? Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Don't forget to give us a like and a share if you are so inclined. And I know a number of you guys are not subscribed. And I know that because it tells me. I can go right there and it tells me how many are not subscribed. And I feel like if I'm subscribed to magazines in 2025, which was not intentional, I don't know why they be showing up to my house, but I am subscribed to magazines in 2025. I invite you to subscribe to the channel. It costs you nothing. All you got to do is hit the button.
I dare you. I double dare you, mother.
And I want to give a special shout out to all the members who joined our last Members Live. It was a bit impromptu last minute, but y'all showed up and showed out. But then the early 90s, though, the early 90s, what you want to do with rayon? What you want to do with rayon party shirts and hammer pants? And if you want to join the fun, there is a link to membership in the description box to all the videos where you'll see options for shallow water and deep water and troubled water. You also have further options if you would like to get those benefits. They are also available in our newly launched Patreon, where you'll see deep water and troubled water, which offers all the same benefits of membership here on YouTube, but also includes the newsletter, Wednesday Waters, which goes out once a week, as well as our community chats. And let me say, I had no idea how much y'all were into gardening till I got on those community chats. It's basically like a premier chat that never ends. You can sign up for that at patreon.com/Reese Waters. And last but not least, I want to show some love, as I've done the last few weeks, starting with Dank and then Deshauna and City Dawn, to my girl Roberta, who sent me this photo of her and her crispy, discouraged, depleted, but never defeated t-shirt, which I thought was a message that properly described how I came into this new Trump administration.
God, if you listening, hell, I can't take it no more.
And yet we soldier on. You can catch that as well as a lot more other options of merch available on my website, reesewaters.com. But I gotta thank Roberta as well as all of you for showing so much love to the channel.